Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Synema Cinergy, because Hollywood is out of ideas. They're not. It's a joke tagline. I have it there for something catchy. It's not an actual statement of genuine represented fact. Don't at me.
But it's also not completely, totally untrue. You can come at me specifically for that one.
I mean, there's truth in many statements. There's an element of truth.
Many true, said boy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I am Greg, aka Greg.
And this is a series where we look at a movie that's related to a movie that's coming out.
Indeed.
So make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like that idea, or if you like the previous videos, or, just cuz. It means a lot.
Just cuz also works.
Share it around, too. We have not broken through the algorithm yet, I don't think.
No, the algorithm is almighty.
Man, the weather is really nice outside. What a lovely day, one might say.
What a lovely day.
Because, of course, with Furiosa, a Mad Max saga approaching theaters, the natural observation is Death Race 2000. But I couldn't figure out where to find that one, so I'm kidding, we're doing Mad Max Fury Road.
I mean, as to say, oh wait, are we actually doing either Death Race 2000 or Jason Statham Death Race?
That would be really funny, wouldn't it, if I had convinced you to watch Fury Road again recently and prep for Fury Road, and then I went, psych, we're doing Death Race?
I mean, I've seen both of those movies, so it's like, alright, a little bit of ad-libbing, I guess.
No, we're doing Fury Road, which
Indeed.
is the fourth movie in the Mad Max film series?
I believe so.
Yeah, fourth.
Yeah.
And quite a big gap between the previous one and this one, too, I might add.
Yeah, what was it, like a 30-year? No, it was 30 years. It was 30
Yeah,
years
something
between
like that.
movies. Yeah.
Because this came out in 2015, and yeah, Thunderdome was 1985. Wow.
Oof. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Indeed.
So, all the Mad Max movies, they are post-apocalyptic action films, and, well, is the first one... I think the first one's before the apocalypse?
I think the first one is either before the apocalypse or as the apocalypse is happening. I know it's a dystopian movie, it's not strictly apocalyptic.
Right. Yeah, full disclosure, this is actually the first Mad Max movie I've ever seen, and I only saw it for the first time last week.
Yes, and Fury Road for me is the only Mad Max movie I've seen. I saw it in theaters when it came out.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed that trend, and then I had everybody telling me, oh, it's such a great movie, you have to see it, which actually put me off seeing it for a while, because I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. Fine.
9 years later.
9 years later, I finally did it. So, where was I going with this? All of the Mad Max movies are directed, at least in part, by George Miller, who has directed,
Yes.
among other things, both Happy Feet movies, Babe, Pig in the City,
Oh my god.
and 3,000 Years of Longing.
I mean, I know that directors of all types do all kinds of movies for all different audiences, but it reminds me of, have you ever heard of a video game called Wet?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
The people who made Wet were also the same studio who made a couple Nintendo DS ports for kids games. So it's like, kid game, and then literally Grindhouse the video game.
Alright, then.
Yeah, and it's just a thing of like, alright, that's a hell of a record list.
So yeah, we watched this movie, and obviously in the previous Mad Max movies, Max Rockatansky was played by Mel Gibson, but due to the passage of time, among other reasons, Mel Gibson did not come back for this one. They got Tom Hardy instead, who I think is doing a regular voice for him, or something close to it at least.
You know what's funny is that because of all the roles that I've seen this man in, I don't actually know what his normal voice sounds like. Like, genuinely.
It's a really funny thing. I was actually trying to find Tom Hardy doing interviews, and I think his character in Inception is pretty close to his regular voice.
Okay.
Max seems a little deeper, but I'm so used to him doing bad American accents.
Yeah. Right.
Or whatever the hell Bane is, that... that I genuinely was not sure what he sounded like, but apparently his Inception character is pretty close, I think.
Okay, because I was going to say, at this point, my brain has defaulted to his voice as Eddie Brock, being his regular voice.
Right, that's the main thing I hear. It's
Yeah.
him going, they don't want souls, man, they want brains! Climbing into a lobster tank, but this isn't about Venom.
Yeah, no, it is not.
Now, Miller has said that the Max movies aren't meant to be treated as necessarily straight sequels. It's more of these are all different stories about Max's exploits, so don't expect perfect continuity.
Yeah.
Kind of like Legend of Zelda before Nintendo actually put out a timeline.
I'll take your word on that one.
And then Nintendo went, fine, we'll make a timeline, are you happy? And the fans went, when are we ever? This is riddled with issues.
It's like, yeah, fan bases for major successful IPs, when are we ever happy, is pretty much the default tagline.
So yeah, this movie was in the works for a very long time. Apparently Miller had the original idea in 1987, and started pre-production in 1998, and then 9/11 happened, and that kind of put a bit of a stopper on things, either because the dollar bottomed out, or it just made crew and equipment and moving everything to Australia more expensive. And a lot of this film was actually filmed in Namibia instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
A lot of practical effects in this movie. I respect it.
Yeah, there's a very, very, very small amount of CGI.
Well, I would say small amount, but I would say it's used sparingly, because that big wall of dust and lightning and tornadoes, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's fair. But
that's actually practical. They actually created apocalyptic weather conditions.
Yeah. What did you have in your arsenal of practical effects? Oh, like fire, cars, God himself.
We killed a few people.
We killed quite a few people. All for the name of the art.
So Max gets captured by a society led by a man named Immortan Joe, who is played by Hugh Keys Byrne. Funny enough, he actually played one of the antagonists in the original Mad Max.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. No, pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's an excellent callback then.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how long Max is captive for, but at some point he ends up getting used as a blood bag for one of Joe's war boys while they hunt down... God, the slang in this movie really is something.
Yeah.
They're hunting down Imperator Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, who has taken some of Joe's wives, with heavy air quotes.
With very, very heavy air quotes.
Intending to bring them to the Green Place, a plentiful paradise in this post-apocalyptic hellscape from which Furiosa was taken years ago and has been trying to get back to ever since. Circumstances align, Max finds himself stuck with this group, and they're all in it together, trying to get away from Joe and find their place in this mad, mad world.
And chaos ensues.
Yeah. I thought this was alright.
Yeah, this movie's a good time. I remember when I first saw it in theaters, I was pretty much hooked into it right away.
I bet.
Well, yes. Not for the obvious reasons, although I imagine we'll talk about cars a little bit. The atmosphere of this movie and everything that's put into the atmosphere of it is genuinely pretty solid. Between the post-apocalyptic desert hellscape, the absolute smorgasbord, monstrous vehicles, the music, definitely one of my favorite things done by Junkie XL. The atmosphere and everything like that in the world that takes place in was really the thing that got me very, very interested in it pretty much from the get-go. And that's definitely one of the highlights, in a sense, of the movie, and especially since it just kind of sticks around the entire time, because everywhere you look is sand.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because some of the initial shots in the movie are Max trying and failing to escape from the cave system that Immortan Joe's people have him trapped in. And that part's really claustrophobic. And then the rest of the movie opens right the hell up, and yet somehow it still feels equally futile, and like there's equally nowhere to go.
Yeah. Ultimately, what they're running against is a giant group of, like, crazy-ass motherfuckers who can keep after them no problem. It's like, okay, where do we go? Where is this place? Do we have supplies to outrun these guys? Okay, no? Alright, well, this is not fun.
No, the aesthetic of this world is really interesting. And also just the sense of world building in the sense... Because like I said, I'd never seen a Mad Max movie until now. And I haven't seen any of the other ones. And I'll probably fix that at some point, but it's not priority. But it's interesting how it feels like you get all the details you need to understand what's going on. And if this is your first Mad Max movie, it doesn't feel like you're missing anything.
Yeah, as I understand it, like it was talked about with George Miller, from what I understand, all the movies are within the same universe and timeline and all. Obviously, the first three movies are a lot more connected together between their short release intervals. But with this movie, it is a thing of this is pretty self-contained. From what I remember looking into it, there's not anything shown in Fury Road that if you've never seen any of the other movies that you'll have a bad time with.
I definitely didn't feel lost. Some of the dialogue threw me, but I feel like that's just... And it's really funny, because If I'd seen this in theaters, I would have said the slang in this movie is weird and insufferable and stupid. But, having seen how language has evolved in the last 9 years and some of the new slang that the youth has come up with, I'm forced to conclude it's actually kind of timeless.
No cap there.
Yeah, see...
I make that joke as someone who doesn't like the use of the word cap, by the way.
Because you got weird shit like the War Boys chanting V8, talking about how they should be McFeasting in the halls of Valhalla.
Yeah.
Max grumbling the word, I don't even know, but the subtitles expressed it as confuckamus, and that's just been living rent-free in my head, just Max shouting, confuckamus! Maybe part of it's because he doesn't really have a lot of dialogue.
No, he doesn't have a lot of dialogue, and it's very funny because, from what I understand, this is the most that Max has ever spoken in any of these movies.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, at least as I understand it. Well, if I had to guess in the first movie, he probably spoke more, but from what I've understood, he tends to not be a very talkative character. I might be getting that completely wrong, but at the same time, him not talking much also makes sense because during the movie we were constantly reminded of, for Max in particular, him failing to save his daughter?
Some kid.
Yeah, like some kind of little girl amongst many others, and if I had to guess, he's probably become slightly mute due to the PTSD from that as well.
It's pretty interesting how we don't really delve into Max's past, but I feel like it gives you enough that you can infer, and you don't really feel like you need it. Although part of that's because Max is kind of a secondary character in his own movie.
Yeah, he is a main character, but he's not the main character. The main character is definitely Furiosa with this.
Yeah. I'd say Max is about on par with some of Joe's wives.
Yeah, and that's not a discredit either, because Joe's wives also do get a lot of screen time, and they are major characters that influence how the story goes.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz is one of them.
Oh, that's right, she is!
Yeah.
Yeah, as Toast the No...
And then she was Catwoman.
Damn.
I think she was also Angel in X-Men First Class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one who turns evil.
Oh, nice.
Really great. Now, this is a well-acted movie in the sense of everybody knows exactly what's expected, which is that a lot of them are going over the top in a good way.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense for what this is as well. Ultimately, what these movies amount to, or what this movie amounted to, is watching a bunch of people who have spent God knows how long in the desert with very little in the way of survivable resources and doing whatever they can to survive. At a certain point, you're gonna lose your crap.
Yeah.
And it's like, alright, well, I've lost my crap. There's a bunch of other people who've lost their crap, but I'm the strongest person who has lost their crap, so I am the leader, and as such, everyone else has to go by my completely insane standards.
Do not become addicted to water, Joe says.
Yeah, which is... A reasonable person will go, that's insane, and it's like, yeah, that's the MO of this movie.
This is a pretty uncomfortable movie in terms of technology, because you got the blood bags, you got people actually drinking human milk.
Yeah.
And keeping people around just to pump it, which is just, oh god, I don't like that.
Including some of the implications from the various theatrics that happened in this movie, such as the War Boys, who their whole thing is to bomb other vehicles, but they bomb other vehicles by, like, being on giant sticks, like something out of Ringling Circus. Yeah.
I think I remember reading that they got actual Cirque du Soleil performers for that.
I would hope so, because those would be the only people I would trust to do something like that.
Witness me!
Yeah. And things like that, too, because even of the things that aren't directly expressed, there are definitely implications that make you go, oh, that's not cool. Witness me, the going to Valhalla, shiny and chrome. There's a lot of things where, like, if you think about it more, it's just like, oh, that's not great.
Nah. Because Nicholas Hoult plays Nux, who's got two friends, quote-unquote, that are tumors. Larry and Barry.
That are, like, actual, like, cancerous tumors.
His development's interesting to watch. Watching him break out of Joe's brainwashing and find his own humanity.
Yeah.
Culminating in actually a pretty touching sacrifice.
And it's interesting how that goes, because it's like, he breaks out of Joe's brainwashing, but that doesn't suddenly mean that he gets all his composure and sanity back and all that.
No, he's still nuts.
He's still lost by the end of it.
He's still kinda crazy.
Yeah. But he has a greater realization of, okay, there's more than what I've been taught my entire life. And the survival of these people who have done nothing but be good to me, despite me actually being their enemy, and me spending a good portion of the movie trying to lead them back to their deaths. That's something. That's something we're fighting for.
Is it weird that watching this movie has made me a little less excited for Furiosa?
No, I don't think so, because, well, it's unfortunate because I think / hope that there's more in Furiosa than what's been shown in, like, the marketing and the trailers so far. But it is a thing of the things that are shown in the trailers leading up to Furiosa is how she's been captured and her time as, like, a teenager and young adult. And how the thing that's spurring her on is her mom telling her, no matter what happens, you have to find your way back here. And I feel like it's marketed towards people who have never seen Fury Road, because if you've seen Fury Road, you learn that... I imagine we don't care about spoilers in this.
Nah, this movie's been out for 9 years. Spoilers are built in.
You find out it's like, oh, the green place? Yeah, it's gone.
It's a swamp.
Yeah, literally a irradiated swamp. Honestly, when we were watching it and that happened, it's just like, you know what? I almost forgot about that.
Obviously I wasn't expecting her to get back to the green place in Furiosa, because obviously I knew, well, she's in Fury Road, which presumably means that she hasn't found it. But
yeah.
I was still thinking, well, maybe there's hints or clues that she might still get back there one day, but now having known that already ends in futility, it's a case of, oh, why are we doing this?
I mean, to watch Anya Taylor-Joy fight Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'd say money, but honestly, this actually didn't do the greatest, because it made about $380 million, but its budget was upwards of $185.
Yeah.
So this was not a particularly...
profitable.
No.
If it did make a profit, it was a relatively small profit, if the rules of two apply here, which I imagine they do.
Hollywood Reporter estimated that the net loss was around 20 to 40 million, which,
Oof.
Best calculations, that's based on probably not entirely complete information, but also I'd assume more information than we have access to.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely wasn't a runaway success.
Oh, yeah.
But it definitely made an impact, because, I don't know, prior to Fury Road coming out, the only real staying power I think Mad Max had was some references to the Thunderdome, but if I'm being honest, I think we all moved beyond Thunderdome. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to make a joke like that and have it be contextually relevant. Years. Actual goddamn years. I can finally die happy. I managed to make a Thunderdome joke. Finally!
I'm glad you have this euphoria.
Crossing that off my bucket list. I love it.
I'm glad you have achieved Valhalla in that aspect.
I will be McFeasting this day.
You know what? Just a small thing. The first time I heard them say McFeasting, it's like, why do I want McDonald's now? No!
No, that's how they get you.
Yeah, even though part of me is like, I don't think that was completely what they were going for, but I wouldn't be surprised at the same time.
Apparently, Tom Hardy and George Miller butted heads on this, as did Hardy and Charlize Theron.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I
didn't look too deep into it, but apparently that's a thing.
Fair.
They've all apparently since made up.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, I would hope so, since there's another one of these movies in the works, and I'm assuming that Tom Hardy's reprising his role in Mad Max.
The last update I'm seeing, and let me actually do another little check, but I'm seeing in July 2019, George Miller said that 3 movies are being considered, 2 more Mad Max stories, and a Furiosa story. And obviously we got the Furiosa story, but...
yeah.
People keep talking about Mad Max The Wasteland like it's happening, but I'm not seeing anything official.
Well, it's listed amongst the Mad Max movies as being in production, but let's see.
I mean, it took 30 years between Beyond Thunderdome and Fury Road, so...
Fair.
In production doesn't mean squat.
Yeah, okay, it's still seen as a possible sequel, so nothing confirmed just yet.
In development.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I thought this was pretty interesting. I feel like I'm skipping over a lot, but... honestly, one of the things that jumped out the most to me was the hedgehog cars, as I call them. I don't know what everybody else calls them.
What, are you talking about the cars that had the tracks on them?
The cars with the spikes.
Oh, yeah. No, the cars are, I mean, this is the thing I care about. The cars in this movie are definitely interesting, just because of how they're recognizable cars, but have been morphed and just turned into these, again, post-apocalyptic monstrosities. And also just how they're used. You know, you have classic cars being turned into desert racers or like monster trucks or whatever. How there's, I want to say the Mercedes used by, oh crap, what was the fat guy's character again?
People Eater?
Yeah, the People Eater. How, if I remember right, that's also towing the big-ass trailer that has the blind guitarist with all the drums and all that. Which...
metal as hell.
Yeah, very metal, including the music. Every time the Doof Warrior, who is the guitarist, is on screen, I'm like, yes, this is
That's
amazing.
pretty good.
Yeah.
The People Eater pisses me off, because he's neither one-eyed, one-horned flying, nor purple.
That's what you take issue with.
Yeah.
Fair. I remember saying that the guy who plays the Doof Warrior is blind, and looking a bit more into it, hopefully I'm not proving myself wrong a second time, but he's not blind. The character is blind, but the guitarist themselves, Iota, is not blind.
Huh. Alright.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of Joe's kids, the one who's always in the chair because his growth is stunted.
Yeah.
His actor actually has that condition.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Quentin Kinahan.
Okay. Oh,
good performance.
Okay. Oh, quite. Yeah, very good indeed.
Yeah, all around, everybody does a really good job in this. Oh, here's a fun one. I'll see if this means anything to you. Apparently, the War Rig was made by combining a Tatra 815 and Chevrolet Fleetmaster and then fusing a Volkswagen Beetle to the whole.
Huh. That's a hell of a combination. Yeah, hold on, because I want to remind myself what the War Rig looks like as well. Oh, no, I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely see the Fleetmaster. The Fleetmaster is like the cab part of that truck.
Okay.
And the Tatra is... Let's see, where's the Tatra in this? I want to say... No, it's not the forward section, because that Tatra is a flat front truck. Why am I like this?
I don't know. I'm glad I brought it up, though.
Yeah. That's interesting. I can see that combination in there. Where's the Volkswagen Beetle in this, though? Hold on. You're getting live...
live car analysis.
Live car analysis from Greg. Because it's not infuriating enough.
Oh, there it is. It's on the very end. It's at the very end. Let me, Oh,
I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I missed that completely.
That's definitely
Yeah, that's definitely 2/3 of an old VW Beetle. Okay.
I'll give this movie credit for being basically one long car chase. It didn't really lose me.
No, yeah. The original Gone in 60 Seconds wish it could pull that off.
I'll also say it didn't particularly... I don't know, I didn't love this movie. But I definitely like it. I definitely think this was a good time. Maybe that's the difference between seeing something in theaters and making that be your initial impression and then not.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Yeah. I still like this movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the payoff at the end is it's pretty solid for what happens in the rest of the movie.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
We got anything else, do you think?
I don't think so.
Alright. So I guess that pretty much wraps up this video. Next time, I'm gonna give you one hint. Think cops.
Oh boy. Freeze, scumbag! It's the cops!
Alright, gumshoe, settle down. Thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, I still haven't figured out how to end these.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.